Sorry. I was so excited. Providing the material that I forgot to hit the recording. Let's start over again, okay? Just in case for the recording, people. So my name is Toby Walker. I'm the mind engineer and have been studying this for now 13 years to be able to understand how the mind works and how to start making changes. So let's go with a small crash course on how the mind works. We got 10% the conscious mind and 90% that might vary from book through book, person through person, but the truth is subconscious mind runs our life. What does that mean? That in our subconscious mind, we have all our past memories and much more, of course, emotions, feelings, creativity, many things, right? But the most important thing is that we have our past memories. So our subconscious mind is our best friend trying to protect us. We don't need to see the mind as the enemy. The mind is trying to protect us from feeling pain. So if when I was a kid and I used to speak up, and each time I spoke up, I was punished, I was told I was wrong, I was told to shut up, my mind started creating that what I'm speaking up is maybe dangerous for me, or it's hurting for me. So then I've learned to shut up and not speak up because that's what I was taught as a kid. And I don't know if here, raise your hand, people here, or let's do this. Let's put a 1 on the chat. Let's put a 1 on the chat if this has happened to you before, that you find that you don't speak up as you would like to. Put a 1 in the chat if it has happened to you. There we go. Look, Doris, we start getting some 1s there. Some raising their hand too. So as you can see, what happens a lot is that we've learned ways since childhood that we carry on today. Okay, same here, 1, there we go. More people, raising some hands. So the truth is we are struggling with our past more than our present circumstances. It's not our present circumstances. The problem is our past and how we see those present circumstances according to our past. Okay, so that is something to understand it's very important to start understanding how we react today and how now we're going to see how to start changing those things. So let's see again what we spoke last time. We got all the surface problems, procrastination, not doing what I need to do, being stuck. And a lot of people last time were saying, I'm stuck, I'm gonna move forward. What should I do? How do I change my mindset? This is what we're going to see today. So procrastination, imposter syndrome, loss of focus, loss of clarity, lack of consistency, low self-esteem, low self-esteem, low motivation, loss of motivation, powerless, overwhelmed, playing it small, doubting, perfectionism. Those are all the byproduct. It's what we see in the surface, but what we see in the surface is not the problem, is the byproduct. Again, and I said it, imagine that I have fever. I have fever because maybe I have an infection inside of me. Imagine that I go to a doctor and the doctor just gives me pills to bring the fever down. Is he really treating the problem? No, he's just treating the symptoms. And this is what we need to understand, that we got to stop treating the symptoms. We got to start treating the root of the problem. And that's where we're going to go today. Okay, so next we have a short exercise. I want to share with you people a picture that I put together. It's a collage, okay, very many small pictures. I'm going to give you 10 seconds, more or less, okay, to watch this, okay? When you watch it, then you're going to share what you felt watching this. Okay, and you're going to share it in the chat. Yes, please. You're going to take a couple of seconds then to write some things in the chat. So we're going to focus on emotions and feelings. Okay, emotions and feelings, and maybe also a picture that was for you kind of standing out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share this for 10 seconds. I'm going to take it away, and we're going to do the exercise. So I want you guys to look at the screen, look what you're going to see, and see what it kind of brings up inside of you. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so now I want you to share what you saw and the feelings that came up. Okay, you don't need to describe the whole picture so we don't get tens of hundreds of messages for each person. Tension. Look, sign up, tension. Another one, let's see. Sadness, pain, anger, sad. So many struggling, sadness, stress, a pregnant woman, a child. So what did the pregnant woman and child create in you? Mixed feelings, sadness, despair, sadness, crying, depression, variety of emotions leading towards worst, crying, sadness, crying, hope for future, new birth, pain. When I saw a picture, I could see babies crying, but my feelings postpartum, worry, happiness, pets, love. Look at the variety of things that different people have seen. And in general, we have more towards the side of pain and sadness. Am I right with this? Are we okay with it? Post it 2 on the chat if you are okay with what I just said. If we go look back, Doris, we had tension, sadness, pain, anger, sadness, stress, sadness, despair. I'm looking at the negative, sadness, crying, depression, right? Most of you focus a little bit on the negative. So if I go back at the picture, look at this again. Yes, there was some sadness. There was 1, 2, kind of 3, 4 pictures of sadness. But then there was 1, then the island. Let's put the island as a good one. Yes, the woman pregnant. 2, the puppy. 3, the car. That's not sadness. I mean pictures that are not reflecting sadness. The free horse, the beach again, the cat, the dog, the cat, the pregnant woman, the woman with the stroller, the cow. Look at all the pictures in positive and look how many people just saw the negatives of this picture. Do you realize that? You need to understand how the mind focuses on what's happening inside of me. The people that are seeing this and are seeing more negative is because maybe right now or in the past week, you might be struggling with negative things in your life. And there's nothing wrong. This is not to judge or feel bad about this. It's to understand that we see the world out of what's happening inside of me. This picture has many nice pictures, Why did most people see the negatives? Because if I'm struggling, I'm going to see the struggle on the outside, my mind. And this is something I want you to take from this and take it forever, people. Did these pictures trigger you? People, did these sorry, I'm going to ask you again. Sorry, the wrong question. Did these pictures create the sadness inside of you? Did these pictures create the sadness inside of you, or was the sadness inside of you? Yes, Doris, thank you. These pictures just reflected what was going on inside of you. And this is what I want you to understand. This is one of the most important things to start becoming your own creator in your life, people. When you tell your partner, when you tell your parents, when you tell your friends that you make me angry, you make me blah, you made me feel, you made me, you are giving your power away. You are giving your power away by blaming others for your own unresolved issues. So again, look at the picture in itself. It has maybe six pictures that are negatives and the rest are nice or even very beautiful. And a lot saw the negatives. That is a representation of what's going on inside of me. So I need to embrace that and understand, why am I feeling the sadness? Why am I feeling bad? So as Doris was saying, the mind is going to look on the outside what is already on the inside. So the mind is going to look for confirmations. Is as a kid, I was drawing and somebody said, oh, I don't like it much, or somebody complained, or even somebody looked at somebody else's picture and said like, whoa, that's an amazing picture. The other person might said like, oh, I'm not a good artist. I don't draw very well. I don't color very good. So from there on, that person is going to look for confirmations that prove that they're not good artists. Even if they're good, it doesn't matter. The mind is going to go out there and try to confirm what you have inside of your mind. So you might have 10 options out there, like all these pictures out here. And my mind is going to focus to confirm what is already in my mind. So I want you to write a 3 if that makes sense in the chat, please. Does that make sense? I'm seeing on the outside what is already on the inside. So of course, if there's 10 things happening, 8 are good and 2 are bad, 7 are good and 3 are bad, I'm going to focus on the negatives. If I am feeling negative, I am seeing on the outside already what is in the inside. Yes, exactly. This is very important to understand because most people put the blame on others. Like, you, Doris, are making me feel angry. No, I feel angry and I'm projecting. I am projecting that on the outside. Yes, exactly. And if I'm feeling good, I'm going to look on the outside for good things because that's how I feel. So it's very important to understand, because if I want to change my life, I need to understand that the external circumstances don't dictate my life. I dictate the external circumstances. Again, look what I just said. External circumstances don't dictate my life or don't define my life. I define my life from within. Look at this picture again. A lot of people saw tension, sadness, crying. So they are defining this picture out of their own stuff. This picture is not defining you. So look again now how we can work on that. I go out there as an entrepreneur. I go out there as a student, try to get good grades or pass my exams to get my degree, whatever it is, and I have a bad grade. Does the bad grade define me? No, it doesn't. It doesn't define me. I can define the bad grade, but it doesn't mean that the bad grade defines me. And that's where most people lose it in life. And they play small and they get stuck because they are scared that the environment is going to define them. This is one of the biggest lies that big names out there, people, big names, big gurus are telling you. You are, and let me know, put a 4 in the chat if you heard this before. Let me know if you've heard. You are the 5 people that surround you. Become the 5 people that surround you the most. Have you heard about that big lie out there? You become the 5 people that surround you. 4, yes, there you go. Yes, or 4. Yes, there you go. So this is one of the biggest lies we have been taught. We don't become the 5th person from the other 4 or the 5 people we surround ourselves. We don't become that. We become who we want to become. But the problem is, as we think that the external world defines us, we want to surround with people that we think are going to define us. It's giving our power away again. And that's not how it works. I can be whoever I want to be. I don't need others to define me. And this is what I want you to take with you today with this. I decide. Like you guys saw this picture and you focus on different pictures, a lot into sadness and tension and things like that, crying. You choose what to look at. But it's a choice that runs from the subconscious mind. So I want to teach you today how to access the subconscious mind, to start changing what's happening in the subconscious mind so that we can then actually not get, affected in a negative way from the environment. And that's what we're looking for. Yes. So why we say be around good company. Because Liba, normally people say be around good company because you feel that they're going to define you. I'm not saying to go and hang out with drug dealers or whatever. I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. You can still be around good company, but be around good company because you want to, and you define yourself, not allowing others to define you. That is the teaching I want you to take today with this. Don't let others or life define you. Because again, look at this picture. A lot of people were feeling negative, we're feeling sad, we're feeling, the crying, the tension. So imagine that if they allow that to define them, we have a problem because it's not them. Life is like a world of opportunities. There we go. You look, you decide where to look. Yes. Look at that, Doris. Thank you for sharing that. Look, my spouse grew up in a very bad area with many people making poor choices, yet he made choices that were good and didn't follow them. You see, that is the idea, to detach ourselves from the world in a good sense, that we define the world, not the world defined us. And that's the biggest lie. Yes. What's the reason to pick negative? It's my state inside of me right now, Sajida. It doesn't mean that I am negative. It means that I am feeling some negative and I just project it into this picture. You see the difference, Sajida? I feel negative and I project that into this picture. Okay, some questions I can ask because they're important and they pertain with this. So I hope this makes sense. We gotta go back and own what we're feeling. No external environment can dictate how I feel. I decide how I feel. And this is what I want to bring with this exercise. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, so we had the sharing. Exercise 2. I want you to do this now. Let me see if there's another. Yes. I want you people to close your eyes. Everybody, please close your eyes. I want you to breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Do that a couple of times. Try to relax wherever you are, lying in bed with a computer, maybe sitting, maybe standing, whatever it is. I want you to stop a second. Stop a second. Close your eyes. Now, I want you to imagine in front of you, imagine that you're sitting at a table. You're sitting at a table at a restaurant. Choose, imagine in your mind, choose the best restaurant that you have ever been, or the best plate that was served in a restaurant that you've been before. Okay. What I want you to do is I want you to imagine sitting at the table. You got your napkin, you're going to put it right on top of your lap. So I want you to imagine sitting there. I want you to imagine watching the menu. And I want you to start imagining which plate you're going to choose from this amazing restaurant that you've been before. So you already know what's the best plate they have. And I want you to imagine ordering that plate. So as you're sitting there, this is a fast restaurant. So they're going to bring the plate and they're going to put it in front of you. I want you to imagine that really amazing plate that you have had before, this food that you ate before. I want you to imagine it in front of you. Each one of you with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine in front of you the plate, the food that you most enjoy right now. What is something that you love to eat? Imagine it in front of you. Imagine the taste. Now I want you to grab the fork and the knife, and I want you to start cutting a piece of that, whatever it is. I want you to bring it up to your nose, and I want you to smell it. Smell it inside. And now I want you to put it in your mouth, and I want you to imagine the taste now. I want you to start biting on it. Let the fork go and start biting, chewing on it. And now start bringing it down, into your stomach. I want you to grab another piece. I want you to cut another piece of this and put it in your mouth and chew on it. I want you to try to imagine the smell, the taste, the texture. So now slowly as you do that, whenever you're ready, I want you to come back here and I want you to open up your eyes again. And I want to ask you, put a 5 in the chat. If it was a short exercise, we need to do it much longer, much more to really feel it, but put a 5 in the chat if by any chance, as you were doing this exercise, imagining the plate coming to the table, smelling it, were you able to even smell a little bit of it as you imagined it, or Did your mouth start getting wet, saliva getting into your mouth? Did anybody experience like really eating that plate? Yes, yes, 5, yes, there you go. So look at this. Did you really eat that food, or was that in your imagination? Did your body get ready to eat that? The truth is, yes, I was eating that plate. My body started producing saliva. My digestive system, the stomach, starts producing gastric juices. So does the mind know the difference between real or imagination? Does the mind makes a distinction between real and imagination? Does it? Our imagination is very powerful, people, and I need you to understand this, because we're going to go next deeper into how to start reprogramming the mind. So let's do a small summary of what we saw last time. How to start reprogramming the subconscious mind. Remember, we have behaviors. Behaviors are the byproduct of something deeper. Yes. So let me see more. Let me see if I can draw here. I never remember how to do that. Never mind. So behaviors are the byproduct. Yes. So behaviors will be created by emotions, and emotions are the byproduct of the beliefs. So what most people do, as we were spoken before, is they repress. And now we're going to go deeper with this, okay? So what do we need to practice to develop to be able to start reprogramming the mind, to train and reprogram the mind, is self-awareness and emotional intelligence. Self-awareness and emotional intelligence. What does that mean? Self-awareness, having a clear perception of your personality, including your strengths, your weaknesses, your thoughts, your beliefs, motivations, and emotions. Being more aware of what's going up in my head. It involves being aware of different aspects of yourself, including behaviors and feelings, to be able to discover your limiting, negative, and false beliefs. I cannot reprogram the mind if I don't understand what is going inside of the mind. I cannot reprogram the mind if I don't know what's going inside of the mind. And then emotional intelligence, the capability of individuals to recognize their own emotions, discern between different feelings, and label them appropriately. What I call is connecting the mind with our heart. The mind and the heart need to be connected together. That is what I call emotional intelligence, connecting your emotions with your mind, with your thoughts, everything connected together, everything working together. The problem is that when we repress our emotions, because in society we were taught that the negative emotions are not welcome, and we're not welcome when we are scared. Like whenever you feel scared, somebody says, don't be scared. Whenever you feel sad, somebody might say like, oh, don't feel sad. Let's go grab a beer or whatever so you can feel better. They try to move us away from the pain, because as they don't know how to deal with the pain, they don't know how to help you deal with the pain. And we need to understand, to be able to reprogram the mind, we need to feel the pain. And that's why a lot of people don't like this method, and they develop other ways to repress, because they don't know how to deal with this. Okay, so use emotional information to guide thinking and behavior, and manage and or adjust emotions to adapt to environments or achieve one's goal. So it's connecting your feelings with your beliefs. That is how we connect the brain and the heart. Let's keep going. Self-awareness and emotional intelligence. This will allow you to start identifying your limiting, negative, and false beliefs, to then be able to start reprogramming. Let's get going. So how to start? This is the $1 million question that a lot of people have been asking. by using your emotions to go deep and find your false beliefs to then be able to reprogram them. So how to start identifying what's holding you back? I teach these 5 steps, and then we're going to see them in a much easier way, but to start understanding. First, I need to identify that something is bothering me, that hey, you know, I'm procrastinating, I'm feeling stuck, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling stress, I'm feeling anxiety. Okay, yes, something is bothering me. I identify, I acknowledge it, and I accept it. Yes, something is weird. Let's see, something is weird. What's going on? I identify, acknowledge, and I accept what's going on. Once I do that, I start learning from it. And I'm going to show you how in a second. It's pretty easy, quote unquote, easy to do the exercise in itself, but then how the mind works is a little bit more complicated. And we'll see that in a second. And then we're going to bring the reprogramming. So first of all, if I'm feeling that, you know, I'm procrastinating, I'm going to accept that I'm procrastinating. I'm going to identify, acknowledge, and accept that I'm procrastinating. I'm not going to beat myself up because I'm procrastinating. I'm not going to start beating myself up saying that I'm stupid, I should be done better, I should stop procrastinating, and blah, I'm beating myself up. Because look, another exercise for you people. I want to ask you this, okay? More than an ask is going to be I'm going to command you in a way. I'm going to tell you not to do something, okay? So look at this a second. I want you people not to think, don't think in a pink elephant. What is your mind showing you right now? What is your mind showing you right now when I say don't think about a pink elephant? Exactly. When you say don't think about this, normally the mind is going to think. So when you say I got to stop procrastinating, what does the mind get? Procrastination. I got to stop this. Boom. I do exactly what I'm trying to stop to do. So I need to understand how this works. Everybody's seeing a pink elephant. So instead of telling yourself, I got to stop procrastination and beating myself up because I'm procrastinating, that is feeding the loop of your mind of I'm procrastinating. So this person is telling me to stop procrastinating. So it's telling me procrastinate more. And it's a loop that keeps feeding itself. So instead of telling yourself to stop procrastinating, say to yourself, okay, why am I doing this? We got to start learning from it. And we're going to go see that in a second. So identifying the programs in your subconscious mind that don't serve you. We need to understand that there's a lot of beliefs in our mind that are wrong because they were imposed into us through our parents, through school, through religion, through whatever. There are many beliefs in our mind that are wrong. They're not even ours. That somebody imposed on us. So we need to understand that we need to start questioning everything. And this is one of the big things that I say. I hope nobody takes it wrong, but I used to come from a Catholic church, Christian church. And in there, you're not supposed to challenge, you're not supposed to doubt, you know, you're not supposed to anything. That for me is crap, because if you believe something so much and you know what's the truth, you wouldn't care if somebody challenges you. If right now one of you says, Tommy, what you're saying is bullshit, I would just say, okay, Doris, let's debate about that. Let's talk about that. I don't mind being challenged, because if I know what I'm doing and I have the information and the experience to back it up, I don't need to feel disrespected because you're challenging my religion, my thoughts, my whatever. But the problem is that I see, at least, again, I know you're not from that religion, most of you. So let's talk a little bit about that so nobody feels disrespected. I hope so. I'm not disrespecting you guys. I'm just questioning. How do we really know that what Jesus communicated to the apostle then write it down exactly how it meant to be in the Bible? And then how do we know that the people that translated that didn't make adjustments? We don't know. We seriously don't know. So there's something there that is kind of weird. So again, I decided to start questioning. So I became more a spiritual person, where I have studied many religions around the world to build my spirituality, not my religion. Okay, and that's what I decided. Each one of you can do whatever you want. But again, as I'm doing this, that is one of the most, problems in the world, that we cannot talk about religion. We cannot talk about politics. We cannot talk about religion, and we cannot talk about sports around the world, because people lose it. People lose it because they believe that their beliefs are part of them as a finger. If I believe that God doesn't exist, I have attached that as my persona. So if you guys challenge me that God does exist, I feel really bad and I try to attack you, I try to destroy you. And that, if you look how religions fight amongst each other, it has to do with insecurities. And that's what the mind does. The mind is going to destroy the messenger if it doesn't adapt to what you already believe. And that is insecurity. We need to understand that when we cannot talk about sports, religion, money, or whatever it is that we cannot talk about, is because those people are feeling insecurity. Because if you felt okay with yourself, you could talk about anything. Does that make sense? 5 or 6, or I don't know what, 5, a 6, or a yes or a 6 on the chat if that does make sense. And again, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, people. I'm just bringing the truth. That if we cannot talk about something, we cannot challenge someone, it's because that person really doesn't believe and own what they believe. What do you mean? You mean schemas? What does that, Biaya? Sorry, what do you mean with schemas? Let's keep going, but I'll look out for that. Facing your negative feelings, emotions, they are there for a reason. Schemas, our experiences, exactly, based on our experiences. Yes, and a lot of our experiences are dictated from our programming in the mind, as you just saw the picture that I showed. Yes? So our mindset is schemas. Yes, exactly, there we go. So we're going to see experiences on the outside based on the interior of our mind, as we just saw in the picture that I showed you, people. That is so important to understand. Let's keep going. You need to understand why they're there. If I'm feeling negative, like a lot of people today said that they saw the picture and they saw negatives, why am I feeling negative? First of all, I need to acknowledge, identify, acknowledge, and accept. Yes, I'm feeling negative. Does that mean I am a negative person? No, it just means that I'm feeling negative. And that's what we need to understand. A lot of people feel that they are that emotion. You're not your emotions. Your emotions are a part of you. But my finger, is it me? No, my finger is my finger. I am me, and my finger is a part of me. I am me, and my emotions are a part of me. But that doesn't mean that they define me. And this is something we need to understand too. So go back to past memories where they were created, and this is what we're going to see today. Yes. So how do we start identifying what's going on? Stop. As I showed you before, we need to understand that our mind runs out of the subconscious mind in autopilot. 95% of the time we're running an autopilot. We're not even thinking. Do you think when you're driving? No, you can drive for half an hour, 45 minutes, and then realize like, whoa, how did I get here? I was thinking about something else. I was able to drive without thinking driving. I was able to get change without even thinking about getting change. I just did it. That is automatic pilot. We're eating in automatic pilot. Many times we're not even tasting the food. So we do most of the things in automatic pilot. So the first thing we need to do is a rule that we put together, acronym, STOP, A, B, C, D, E. Stop, as in stop. Stop a second, think, observe what's going on in your surroundings inside of you. Okay, imagine the door is saying something that bothers me, right? I'm going to stop a second instead of attacking her as a protective mechanism, because again, I need to destroy the messenger so I don't get challenged, right? The other day, I went into a group where there's 800,000 people, and I threw a post in there that challenged the belief system, and most people started being really aggressive, saying that I was a scammer, that I was a total bullshitter, I was blah. They started saying really mean things. Why? They were trying to destroy the messenger. And that's what society does. What happened to Cristobal Colon when he said that the earth was round and he was going to prove it? What happened to the Wright brothers when they were creating the airplane? They were saying that they were crazy, that they were never going to fly. And look where we are today. Imagine to so many people, Einstein and so many people that were seen as crazy because they were bringing something different. That's what the mind does. When beliefs are challenged, change is possible. Thank you, Doris. But we were taught, people, and this is the biggest scam in the world. We went to school and we were taught to follow the norm, to follow what we're told. We were never taught to challenge. Our parents didn't teach us to challenge. But in a good sense, don't get me wrong, it's not about being disrespectful. If I'm telling my kid, oh, you got to do this, my kids maybe can ask me and says, why, Dad, do I need to do this? And I explain to him why, so he challenges me. I love that. I don't want him to get into a system where he puts his blinders on and just walks like a horse in the field like this. I got to go forward. That's all I can do. No, let's take our blinders off. We need to challenge the beliefs. Aiza, let's leave that towards the end, please, if you don't mind. So look at this. Stop, think, observe, and practice ABCD. Stop being an automatic pilot. Okay, this person is saying something that's bothering me. Yes? Exactly. Say, because I say so. That is one of the biggest problems in society. Because I say so. The kid thinks, okay, I got to follow what my parents are telling me. And that's when we go into automatic pilot and we don't challenge. So then when somebody challenges us, we get really uneasy because we don't know how to respond to that. So we need to start challenging everything, the education system, college, our relationships, our relationship with money, everything we need to challenge because most of it is wrong. So again, stop ABCD, stop, think, and observe what's going on inside of me, what's going on the outside. Let's go next. ABCDE, what does that mean? Airway, as we just did with the exercise about breathing. Open your airway, sit straight, and just breathe. Relax. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? I need to start asking myself what's going on. Breathe. Close your eyes and take some conscious breaths. Start becoming more conscious. Developing self-awareness is becoming more conscious. Airway, open your airway, breathe. Connect, detect emotions. As I told you, behaviors, emotions, beliefs. Behaviors, emotions, beliefs. So I want to get to my beliefs. First, I got to go through my emotions. I got to feel the pain. Yes, I got to feel the pain. That is one of the biggest things we have been taught to move away from the pain. When I was scared, my parents would tell me, don't be scared. When I was angry, they would tell me, don't be angry. If I got angry, I was punished. So I was taught that there was a negative outcome whenever I felt something negative. So it bothers us. So we don't like sharing negatives. Because if I'm with a friend and I say, hey, you know what, I'm a little bit sad. Don't be sad. Come on, buddy, look at everything that's happening in your life. And they try to take me away from the pain. It's not about taking you away from the pain. It's about feeling the pain and understanding why it's there. And we're going to see that in a second. Stop, A, B, C, D, E. So the three main questions, and this is it, people. This is the $1 million answer. You were asking me the $1 million question. How do you start understanding and going deeper into a subconscious mind, identifying your false belief? This is the first step. 3 questions, the 5 steps: identify, acknowledge, accept, learn. This is how you learn. And then it's how you reprogram. We're going to see that in a second. How does this make me feel? How does this make me feel? Dory said something that bothered me. Okay. How am I feeling? How does this make me feel? It makes me feel angry. I saw this picture. It made me feel sad. Okay. Second, why do I feel this? First, we're going to explore all the emotions that are coming up. I feel sad. I feel shame. I feel angry. I feel disappointed. I feel blah. You're going to write all those 5 things down. And then you're going to go for each. Why do I feel this? Why do I feel sad? I feel sad because I feel like an emptiness inside of me. Okay. What else do you feel? You felt shame. Why shame? You're going to explore a lot. It's not just, the other day I was working with a woman and she came into a session. She said, Tommy, you know what? I'm so angry. Hey, why are you so angry? So the first, how do you feel? Angry. Why do you feel anger? And look what she did. It's amazing how the mind tricks you. She said, I'm angry because I was going to work and everybody in the highway was going very slow. Okay. Well, why do you feel that? Everybody's going slow. That doesn't make sense. So I asked, I didn't say that, of course, to her, that in my mind, this doesn't make sense. So, okay, they were going slow. And what happens if they go slow? If they go slow, we can get into a crash. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense, but I smell BS. Like what I tell people, I have studied this a long time and I have found a way to read between lines. So she was telling me that she was, bothered because everybody was going slow because they could create an accident. So then I went a little bit deeper. And what happens if they create an accident and if they go slow, whatever, what could happen? She's like, yeah, people can get hurt. Okay, yes, perfect. What else could happen apart from if there's no accident, but if everybody goes slow, right? And she started thinking, we started going deeper, a couple of more questions till she finally said, oh, if everybody goes slow, if an accident happens, if it doesn't, but I arrived late at work. Okay, so you don't like arriving late at work. Why don't you like that? Oh, because I start beating myself up. Okay, did somebody in your family beat you up mentally or emotionally when you arrived late somewhere? And she said, yes, this reminds me of my brother. Each time I arrived late somewhere, he would beat me up emotionally or mentally. So now what was happening is she was beating herself up and she was blaming it on the people that were going slow, right? Because she was not going to arrive on time on work and she was going to do the same thing that what her brother was doing to her, beat her up emotionally or mentally. Does that make sense? How we work out of it automatically? Her brother used to beat her up. Now she beats herself up when she arrives late somewhere. You see how the mind works? How do I? Exactly. Look for the root cause. Thank you, Doris. How does this make me feel? Again, how does this make me feel? Angry, sad, disappointed, shame, guilt, whatever it is. Then we start exploring. Why do you feel like this? You got to find the context of what's bothering me, like this woman, right? It's bothering me because if I arrive late at work, I feel like crap. I feel bad about myself if I arrive late at work. The next question is, how does it make you feel about yourself? How does it make me feel about myself if this happens? Again, if I arrive late, I feel bad. How does it make you feel about yourself? I don't remember what she told me, but I think it was along the line, I'm not good enough, or I'm inadequate. There's something wrong with me. There we go. I think it was more towards the, I'm not good enough, or there's something wrong with me. That was her belief. She was trying to arrive at work on time so she wouldn't confirm, look at what I just said, people, that she wouldn't confirm the false belief that there was something wrong with her. So she already had that belief in the back of her head, and she was doing everything on the outside to try to arrive on time so that she wouldn't confirm, quote unquote, confirm the false belief that she was not good enough or there was something wrong with her because she arrived late. A 6 in the chat or a yes, if that makes sense. We're looking for the beliefs, the false beliefs in the back of our head. Does that make sense? Hello, hello. How are we doing there? Agreed. So we use these 3 questions to find the beliefs. So another way we can use this is, Doris made me feel angry. And I start blaming it on somebody else. So I say, Doris made me feel angry. Why did she make me feel angry? Because she made me feel that I don't know enough, because she asked me a question that it seemed with a bad intention that she's trying to trick me. She's trying to make me trip, right? Okay, so how did it make me feel? That I'm not good enough, that I don't know enough. Okay, so I'm going to reverse that again now. It's not Doris that's making me feel that. As the picture you saw, people, I am making myself feel all of this. I am doubting myself. Because right now, again, and I have worked a lot, people, don't get me wrong, this has been years of inner work. If right now one of you says that what I'm saying is BS, I'm not going to get into defensive mode. I'm going to say, hey, Doris, why do you feel that this is BS? Please tell me. I want to understand why you're saying that. And I'm going to try to provide my proof, my experience, my knowledge on why this is true. Like the examples that I showed you a little bit ago, when we focus on that picture with many things, when I just made you imagine a plate of food inside of you and your body got ready to eat it. Those are proofs of how powerful the mind is. So there's no denying that the mind can, and we're going to see this in a little bit, start changing the past. Yes, what you just heard. You can change your past. You can change your past in your mind. That's how powerful the mind is. And that's where we're going with all of this. So look at this again. I'm seeing that Doris is challenging me. So I am challenging myself. in a negative way, because I feel she's challenging me in a negative way, like my parents used to challenge me as a kid. So I get triggered. I start attacking her. Maybe, and I don't know if you've gone through this, people, many of you, you know, I heard that you're studying, you know, you have studied something, course, program, or university, whatever. Have you ever heard somebody say, what? Who do you think you are? You're going to question me? I have 30 years more than you know, blah, 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 whatever. And they use their age or their supposed experience. Instead of giving you proof with actual proof, they use their age or they use their title to destroy you from asking questions. Haven't that happened before to you? People, yes on the chat, or a 7 on the chat if this has happened to you before. Was somebody challenges you to shut up by saying a bunch of garbage that makes no sense, but it makes sense to us because that's what our parents did to us. Yes, we can change the past, Fahmida. I know it sounds weird, so please bear with me. Yes, you can change your past. I'm going to prove to you in a second, okay? I just showed you how the mind can imagine a piece of food in front of you and you eat it and your body prepares to it and it doesn't know if it's real or not. You can change your mind. Please open your mind, Fahida, because it is possible. And I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay? I'm not saying it's easy, but it can be done. I've been doing it for the past 13 years and my life has changed a lot. I'm going to prove to you that, okay? And to everybody else here, I know it sounds weird that you cannot change your past. Yes, you can change. I'm going to go in a second. I'm going to look, Fahmida. I'm not going to say, oh, you're challenging me. I've been studying the mind for 13 years. Who do you think you are judging me if you can change your mind or not, your past, blah. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show you with proof that it can be done. How did Colon show that the world was round? By going out there and showing that the world was round. How did the Wright brothers show that we could fly, that the airplanes could exist? By showing others that it could exist. If they would have believed what they were told, that it was impossible, we wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't be talking over here on the internet. People that sounded crazy did something that challenged the world and they were able to prove that it worked. I'm going to show you today, if you open your mind and you're open to this, to show you that it is possible to do. You can change your past. It's not erasing, but you can make small changes to your past. I'm going to prove to you this today. So again, yes, Aiza, what you're saying there, it's not manipulate. Look, because that's a strong word. Please, I'm anxiously waiting. Thank you, Fahmida, for that. Aiza, I'm going to show you that it's not about manipulation and it's not about positive thinking. That is very careful with that because we spoke about this with Maria last time where we bring affirmations and that's not right. I'm going to show you in a second. Please bear with me, people. We're getting closer. You'll see that in a second. So did these 3 questions help? Did they make sense? How do I feel? Why do I feel this? And how does this make me feel about myself? How is the self-image that I have with whatever Doris is doing or Fahmida is doing or any of you are doing that you're starting to ask questions, right? And I love it, don't get me wrong. How does it make me feel? Does it make me feel sad? Does it make me feel tension, stress? What if they realize that I don't really know? The truth is I already have that belief in the back of my head if I'm getting nervous, if I'm getting anxious. I already believe that. If somebody calls me boldy, I'm gonna laugh because I'm not bold. I have a lot of hair in my head. All around, I might have some, you know, a little bit deeper over here on the sides, but that's it. So I'm not boldy. If somebody calls me boldy, it wouldn't affect me because I know I'm not boldy. But if somebody talks about my weight a little bit, my belly, it might kind of make me a little bit uncomfortable because I'm working on it. I'm self-aware that I'm trying to bring my belly down. And it's a slight, it's very little, but that might be like, that wasn't a very nice comment, right? Because I am self-aware of that. So whatever bothers you is because you already believe it in yourself. That's where we're going. Psychologist Hamza, we're going there. How do we motivate ourselves to make the future successful? We work on the past, and I'll show to you that it's very different to what psychologists do normally. I'm going to show to you this in a second, okay? So Binti cannot hear me. Distortion. Is everybody else having trouble hearing me? Or it's just Binti that they might have a bad connection? Everybody can hear me well? Sound is good. Okay, just checking. So Binti, then it might be your side. Okay, good. So let's get going. I'm so happy. Yeah. So sorry. Thanks a lot. No, let's get going with how does this work. So let me finish with this. Let's redo this, and then we're gonna do the thing. But we're not done. Okay, don't worry. We got still half an hour more. Don't worry about that. I went over without realizing. So how does this work? Okay. I now know that I got uncomfortable with, let's pretend, okay, Fahina, I'm going to use you as a good example. I know you're open-minded and everything, but imagine that Fahina said, tell me you cannot change your mind. So now, your past. So it's like, oh, shoot, you know, what if it's not true? What if what I think is wrong and she's right? I'm going to get it like, I'm going to feel like a fool if I cannot prove to her or show to everybody that what I'm saying is true, right? So I'm going to feel like a fool. So that when I say I'm going to feel like a fool because of what Famita said, the truth is I already, when I point out people, when I point out one finger, there's 3 fingers pointing back at me. Look at the camera of me. When there's one finger pointing out, I'm blaming Famita, I'm blaming Doris that they said something that bothered me, right? Pretend, quote, I'm just pretending. There's 3 fingers pointing back at me. So when I'm projecting something to someone and I say, right, Famita made me feel, Doris made me feel, I am really saying, I made myself feel. I believe this about myself deep down in my subconscious mind. That's why it's bothering me. Does that make sense? We are our own creators, our own, you know, owners in our life. We are the creators of our life, people. And I know many of you are in religion, so God made us co-creators. We're not a cork in a river going where the river wants us to take us. We have arms and legs and we can start swimming and go where we want to go. That's the power that God gives us as co-creators in this world through him. So as we are co-creators, we got to start becoming co-creators and stop blaming everybody else for our own problems. And this is one of the biggest problems on earth. This is why we have the war in Russia now. Because there's a guy that has unresolved issues and he's trying to, you know, fix, quote unquote, cover his unresolved issues by going to war. Religions fighting amongst themselves around the promised land or religion, whatever it is, it's crazy. Why can't we share? It's like, why can't we share? Because again, there's this part of I am right and you are wrong. And I want to prove that you're wrong. So I got to destroy the, you know, the other party. So I can prove that there's nothing wrong with me because I already believe that there's something wrong with me deep down. And I want to fix that by moving away from people, by hurting people, by killing people, because that's going to prove that I'm right and you're wrong. You see how to the extent that the unresolved issues go in this world, people, where others kill each other just to prove a point. This is how screwed up the mind is. And I'm pretty sure that as we sit Putin over here and we ask him, he's going to sound, and we know that he knows it's going to be crazy, but he's going to sound that, you know, he's right. In his own mind, he's convinced himself that he's right. So he's going to look into the world to see what's broken in the world to make him right. So again, there might be 100 things proving that Putin is crazy, but if there's one thing that Putin can point out to prove to himself that he's right, he's going to find it. 100 wrong, 1 right, and he's going to focus on that thing, single thing that is right. That's why we got all, you know, people, religions fighting together, killing each other, people invading, destroying, wars, because of their unresolved issues, and they're looking out into the world to prove their unresolved issues, and they're going to prove them. Don't get me wrong. Turn on the you know, the media, and we're bombarded with negative things on purpose, so that it builds our programming in our mind. It builds up on what already is in there. As I've studied this to free people, to help people become their greater version, to connect with themselves, other people are studying this diligently because they want to separate you from yourself so that you fall into this crazy world where you're looking to become something more from the outside, getting your degree, getting the big house, the money, the car, the family, whatever. You're running after external things so that you feed this group of people. Seriously, that's how it works. Real tragedy, yes, but we have the power to change that. I used to be there, Dr. Syed. Syed, I used to be there. I used to be very depressive. I even felt into suicidal thoughts many years ago. I used to see all the negativity in the world because that's how I was raised. I see my parents interacting with my kids today, and they're only pointing the negatives, only pointing the negatives. When they're present, they're only pointing the negatives. When they're in the distance, they're far away. I'm living far away from my parents. I came to live to the mountains. They live in the big city. When they come see us, they're always pointing the negatives. When they're over the phone, they're like, oh, I love what you did. That's amazing, great, blah, all the positivity. But when they're present, they're always saying the negatives. That's how I was raised, always seeing the negatives. So I went out to the world to see all the negatives. And I saw all the negatives. And all the negatives started in a way beating me up so much in my mind, of course, that I wanted to take my life. I wanted to commit suicide. I wanted to end it. Right now, I see the negatives, okay? Dr. Syed, I see the negatives, but I see much more the positives. So I want to be in this world. I want to impact this world. I want to show people how to start changing their mindset, how to heal their past, how to get rid of their limitations in a different way than most people do it. And it's a very effective way. Make sense? Thank you, Aiza. Thank you very much. So, ready for this mind-blowing next step? Ready for the next step, mind-blowing people? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ready. Show me the ready in the chat. We got lots of people in here. So I want to see, the ready in the chat. Ready. Come on, blow it up, because what's coming next is going to blow your mind, people. This is what everybody's waiting. I love what you see. I love when people are psyched too. We can change this world, people. We need to understand that. We can change this world. Thank you, Zainab. Thank you very much. Ready. I love it, people. So let's move forward on how to start making change within that is going to impact the world on the outside. Okay, let's do this. Yes. So let me give you an example again. I was telling you, right? My parents always bringing the negatives into my mind, always showing me the negative things that I would do using. So now I'm going to give you an example. My wife comes to me and says, hey, you left all the dirty dishes in the sink and I asked you to clean them. So she's showing me the negatives. So what would happen inside of me? I have done a lot of work. Sometimes I have my ups and downs. Don't get me wrong. I don't have everything figured out, people, just to let you know. I am much better than I used to. But I still have my down moments. Don't get me wrong. I'm a human being living in this world, trying to become my greater version, my spiritual self more and more, but I still have my stuff. So imagine that my wife comes over and says, oh, you did it. You don't care. You left all the dishes in the kitchen. And she says, you don't care. Boom. It's like, ouch. I do care for her. I love her. And now she's telling me that I don't care. So boom, it triggers me. How did it make me feel? It made me feel sad. It made me feel betrayed. It made me feel that she really doesn't know that I care for her, like doubting. It's like, what am I doing wrong? So I started playing all this in the back of my head, right? So how do I feel? Sad, betrayed, because now I feel attacked by her. She telling me that I don't care. It's like, what, right? Thank you, Sidra. So why do I feel this? I feel like this because she's making me feel, look at the words that I'm using on purpose. She's making me feel that I don't care for her, right? So how does this make me feel about myself? Selfish, not good enough, that there's something wrong with me. They're very similar as we're seeing, but the process is different, okay? Because my wife attacked me about the dishes in the house. So now is, okay, I feel sad, I feel betrayed, I feel not good enough. I'm gonna write all of this down as my beliefs, not my wife's. My wife just confirmed something that is happening in my mind. Okay, she didn't put information in my mind. The information was already in my mind. So again, how do I feel? Why do I feel this? How does this make me feel about myself? So look at this, people. I want you to listen, closely. Yes. Next step. I feel not good enough. I feel there's something wrong with me, and I feel that I'm selfish. So I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to start asking my mind. Look at this, people. I'm going to start asking my mind. Where did I experience something like this as a little boy? because everything that I'm struggling today is a repetition of my past experiences, of my past, right? There is past experiences that prove, quote unquote, my false belief that I'm selfish, that there's something wrong with me, and that I'm not good enough. So look at this. I'm going to just pretend, right? I go back and suddenly I see myself, I'm just playing here. I see myself sitting at school. I'm around 6 or 7, so it would be in our case, 1st or 2nd grade, right? And I'm really scared. Why am I really scared? So I'm going to start reliving that memory. I'm really scared at the teacher. Why am I really scared? Because I should have done my homework and I didn't do it. This is something that happened to me. I already worked on it, but I'm going to do the pretend again. Just the memory came up, so there might be something else I need to deal with. So there's little Tommy that is sitting there in class. The teacher is asking for the homework. I didn't do it. So I'm going to tell her, and I tell the teacher I forgot, and this is true, guys, okay? I forgot my workbook at home. I'm 7 years old. I'm telling the teacher that I forgot my workbook at home. So she tells me to go look in my backpack to see if the workbook is there. So I stand up, I'm scared. I imagine that she realized that. I go to my backpack and I start pretending to find it in there, and it isn't there. So I go look at her and say, no, I forgot it at home. And I try to cover it up with other stuff. And I'm shaking, I'm scared, right? So again, how did it make me feel? I'm going to connect with that little Tommy and I'm going to try to see, how does this make me feel? That little Tommy. So adult Tommy is going to ask little Tommy, hey, buddy, how does it make you feel? Scared. Of course, that little buddy is really scared. He's really scared. Why is he scared? Because he didn't do the homework and he's scared that he's going to get punished and he's going to, again, being told the negative, right? So how does that make him feel about himself? He feels he's not good enough. He feels that there's something wrong with him, right? Because he's going to get punished for not doing the homework. So he's lying to protect himself from feeling the pain of being punished because he didn't do the homework. So he rather lie because he's trying to protect himself. Kids tend to lie. I get my kids sometimes lying to me. So I try to create a safe space so that he can come and tell me the truth, right? And not punish them for lying. I'm telling you, hey, I understand that you're telling me that you didn't do it, but I think I know you did it. And I know you did it, right? So it's like I try to, create a safe space, cozy space for them to share to me what's going on. So look at this. I have my little Tommy, feels not good enough, feels there's something wrong with him, right? Because he didn't do the homework, he's going to get punished. So he decides to lie. So I'm going to do this. Look what I do. Hey, buddy, I'm going to introduce myself to little Tommy now that I know how he makes you feel. Why does he feel this? How does it make him feel about himself? The situation that I'm going to step in and I'm going to say, hey, buddy, I am you grown up. Sorry, I couldn't come before. I didn't know how to. I'm talking to little Tommy. Remember how we were eating food without eating? We're doing the exact same thing. I'm putting myself as the loving adult in this scene where little Tommy is struggling. And I'm going to guide him and supporting him, love him through this situation that he's going through. So I'm already changing my mind. Now there was somebody there that was loving, not the teacher that was pointing fingers, not my parents that were pointing fingers. Hey, buddy, what's going on? I'm scared. I didn't do my homework and the teacher is going to be angry at me and my parents are going to be angry at me. Okay, I understand. How does that make you feel? Sad, scared, all of this. Why do you feel like this? Because I'm going to get punished again. And how would that make you feel about yourself? It's going to make me feel not good enough. There's something wrong with me, right? Okay, buddy, I understand that you feel all of this, okay? And you know what, buddy? You forgot to do the homework. It's not the end of the world. So if the teacher reacts or your parents react as if it were the end of the world, that's on them, not on you, buddy. You're a little boy that you should be enjoying, school. You should be enjoying maybe doing the homework. You forgot. You should be able to tell the teacher that you forgot. And if she reacts badly, that's on her. But I'm here to protect you. So look, buddy, Tommy, little Tommy, we're going to go together to talk to the teacher. And we're going to tell the teacher that you forgot to do the homework. And if she overreacts, if she tries to punish you, I'm going to be here to protect you, buddy. So is that okay? I'm going to ask little Tommy. Look how I'm already creating a new movie in my mind. You see, Fahima, that we were talking about the mind. We are changing the past a little bit. What it happened, don't get me wrong, but he's not going to get punished for he didn't do the homework because I'm not going to let others punish him. Because the 7-year-old shouldn't be punished for not doing the homework. They should say, okay, could you bring it back for tomorrow? I need the homework for tomorrow. Tommy, can you do it for tomorrow? That would be loving from the teacher. But again, the authoritarianism that we lived as a kids, our teachers also lived it. So they pass it over to us. So, hey, Tommy, is it okay if we go talk to a teacher together? I am here, buddy. I got your back, right? So we're going to go talk to a teacher. We're going to tell the teacher, hey, miss, whatever. Yes, Tommy wants to say something. I'm going to look at Tommy and see if he wants to say something, little Tommy, right? So I'm going to pretend that he's separate from me because he's separate. I'm looking at a little Tommy, what he would have done if he would have had the support. Hey, buddy, I'm holding his hand, right? Hey, buddy, what do you want to tell Miss Monica? Hey, Miss Monica, I want to tell you that I forgot to do my homework, okay? And I have it in my backpack, the notebook, but I really didn't do it. So I felt bad and I told her that I didn't do it. So I'm going to look a little more on Miss Monica and say, Miss Monica, before you answer, he's a 7-year-old. He needs love and support. What would be the most loving and supporting thing to tell that little boy? Before you react and say anything wrong to him, I want you to understand that he's a 7-year-old and he needs love and support. What would you tell him? So now that there's an adult there, I imagine that Miss Monica is going to behave. So again, I'm changing the memory. So I imagine Miss Monica saying to little Tommy, okay, buddy, it's okay. You can bring him back tomorrow. Would that be okay? Please, I want you to bring him back tomorrow. If not, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put a 0, a B, a F, whatever. It's okay. So, hey, Tommy, is that okay with you? I promise you that I'm going to do it together with you. Is that okay with you, buddy? Yes, it's okay. So now he's going to go sit down. So he felt loved. He felt supported. You see how it works, guys? I just changed a past memory. So when I go back to that memory, little Tommy is not scared because he has my support and he has my love. That's how powerful the mind is. But look again, did I do affirmations? No, because I don't need to tell Tommy, there's a little bit more to this, but I don't need to tell Tommy, you're good enough, you're amazing, don't worry. No, I explained to him and I gave him love and attention and support by explaining to him the situation. He said he doesn't feel good enough. So I would tell him, hey, buddy, I understand that you don't feel good enough. But you know what? The teacher might have not made you feel good enough. Your parents might not made you feel good enough because of their unresolved issues. And now I can bring a shorter phrase like, hey, buddy, I want to tell you, you are good enough as you are. But I already explained to him why others made him feel not good enough. You see the trick there, people? The trick is that we explain the truth first. I cannot bring an affirmation to a little buddy that feels not good enough because for mom and dad, he's not good enough. He has proof that he's not good enough. The past is in our hands now. I love it, Dr. Syed. It is in our hands. It is in our hands. The mind is so powerful that when we create that past, I have worked with women that have been sexually, or men, I'm working with some men that have been sexually abused. So what we do, we go in there as the loving adult, and that loving adult stops the act. It happened, but we stop the act and we rescue that little girl, a little boy. Imagine the impact in somebody's mind if it's done correctly. This is not just a fast, putting a Band-Aid. I was really understanding that little buddy. I did it with women. I did it with men. How are you feeling? I feel dirty. I feel, this, that, and they start speaking about the experience. They need to bring everything out, but now they're protected by the adult version of them, and they're rescued from abuse. Somebody was beaten up by their dad. One scene, there was a stepdad holding a knife to mom's neck. And this guy, we went into the scene, and this guy got the police and got him, taken away from the house. Something that should have happened back then that didn't happen. But for the mind, you can change that. But again, you got to really connect and understand. It's not about just going in and saying, hey, buddy, you're good enough. Don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. That is repressing. I need to really understand that little boy. Hey, buddy, how do you feel? I feel shame. I feel, sad. I feel angry. I feel used. I feel okay. It's okay that you feel all of that. I understand. There's nothing wrong with that. So there's specific things that we got to go through. It's not just a quick fix, go in, get them out, and that's it. No, because the mind is not going to believe that. We really need to understand what's going on. What is the context of what's going on so that we can provide the right information. I'm going to give you one more example. I was working with a woman that she's working from home, right? She is and living with her parents. She's nearly 24/7 in there, working, going to sleep, working, going to sleep. we went in there and we found that she was feeling like in a prison at home with her parents, right? She felt lonely, she felt sad, she felt not listened. So we found all of that. From there, we went back to her past memories. And the memory just brought a scene where she was standing at school. She was around 8 years old. And she was feeling lonely. She was feeling not listened. She didn't want to be at school, right? She looked at school around as prison. So she was living today as an adult, a replay of that little girl. So we went in and we rescued that little girl. How do you feel? I feel in a prison. I feel sad. I feel lonely. I feel that mom and dad don't care what I want. They only care what they want. They don't listen. They don't support me. They don't love me. All those things that little girl told us. So now we came in and say, hey, look, mom and dad were not given a choice as kids. As they were not given a choice as kids, they're not giving you a choice and they're telling you what you need to do. And they're not listening and understanding you because they don't know how to do it, because nobody did it to them. So you see that we need to really understand the information, the context, so that then we can bring the counter information so that the little girl starts changing her beliefs with information, not affirmations. You see the difference here, people? This is what I was talking the last time with Maria, where a lot of people just talk to that little girl like, oh, you're good enough, you're loving, you're perfect, blah, 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 blah. And that little girl says, no, mom and dad don't listen to me, so I'm not perfect. You're saying that I'm perfect, but I'm not. Okay, but look, mom and dad are not listening because of their unresolved issues, because of their problems, their limitations. So you need to explain to that part of you what really happened. Imagine that you could really jump in a time machine and go back to your younger self to different events and deal with each one of those events. You're doing it in your mind. So you are showing up as a protector, loving, supporter to that little girl or boy, but you need to understand what they're going through. That is a deep connection you got to develop with that part of you. So that part of you opens up and tells you everything that's going on. And now you can bring information so that part of you understands and starts letting go of those beliefs. Did that make sense, people? Sorry, I'm going to move a second. I'm a lot of energy coming out. I got to take my jacket off a second. 1 second. Write in the chat if it makes sense, please. So, Miss Shamin, Miss Shamin, so you're asking how many? The truth is, the more you do it, the more you reprogram the past, the more you feel better, the more everything changes. So the idea is once you go back to that little girl that we took away from the school and we took her to a new school and explained to her why the old system is crap and she wasn't listened and she wasn't understood by parents and by school, we took her to a Waldorf school. I don't know if you heard about that. It's a different type of school. So now this adult version goes back to that school as her quote unquote mom and goes visit her and spend time with her. You need to keep building that memory in your mind. Then you got to go find another memory and then another memory and then another memory and then another memory and another memory. I've been doing this work for 13 years, guys. And look, I just went back to an old memory that I had, but I did a little bit more work just now in front of you, a little bit fast, but I did it. You see what I mean? Thank you, Biaya. I don't know if I said correctly. Sorry, certificate supported by memory reconstruction concept. Exactly. But Biaya, one thing that we need to understand, it's not just pretending it didn't happen. This is very important. It's not that it didn't happen. We are rescuing that part of us from our past, right? And dealing with what happened. This is very important. We cannot just go back into the past and pretend it didn't happen, because what happened, happened. If you're going back to an incident where you were hit, where you were abused in any type of way, you need to rescue that little girl, that little boy. It's not about pretending it didn't happen. So you got to be very careful, because one is denial and the other one is dealing. Exactly. Dr. Syed, our past is now. That's what most people don't get. And I'm going to say a big name out there. And I love this guy. Don't get me wrong, I've been following for a while now and I've read his books and everything. Let's talk a little bit about the power of now with his name, the power of now, sorry. Eckhart Tolle, there we go. Eckhart Tolle, he talks a lot about being today, but he says that the past is gone. But what I feel is that he doesn't understand that the past is now. That's what we need to understand. The past is not the past. The past is the now in our mind, because there's no time in the mind. So one of the things that I feel deep down that Edgar Tolle is missing is the dealing of the past. He had a very, very traumatic past. And he says that whenever you have a negative thought, you just gotta kick it away, ignore it, repress it, because it's not you. No, it's part of the past that is running today in your mind. So you need to deal with it. That's one of the things that I really believe that he's missing. And that's why a lot of people that read his Power Now and everything, it's amazing everything that he says, but it's like, how do I get there where he is? And that's what's missing in that book or his teachings. And I love that guy, but I hate that he teaches to repress your past because it's gone. It's not the past anymore. The past is now. Yes, the past is now, running in the back of your head, replaying over and over again. Maybe Doris, but again, what I believe if he's done it, because I have seen some recent videos where he denies his past. He says your past is gone. You cannot do anything about it. You just have to let it go. The negatives that come in, you just kick them out. You just don't let them be in your mind. So if he's teaching that, there was no healing. There was repressing. So there's so far you can go in your spiritual life, in your spiritual development, if you're not dealing with your past. Yes, yes, Doris. All our experiences from our past shape who we are today. But if you shape your past, you shape who you are today. Thank you, Aiza. Thank you very much. So look a second over here. We're going to go here. There's my website. If you guys want to check it out, write it down. There's more resources there. There's some free resources. There is some paid resources. This is something I do for my living. Okay. The mindengineer.coach. Or if you want, it's in my website, or you can get my book. It's pretty cheap. I don't know what's the economy over there where you are on the world. I'm not done yet. We're going to go into Q&A, Doris, in a second, a little bit more. We're not finished. If we can stick around if you want, guys, a little bit more. You can write tinyurl.com/mindset hyphen whatever it is book, or in the website, you're going to find access to some free trainings and to my book. Okay, I have a Mindset Secret for Success where I speak a little bit more about this, the process. Okay. And then there's some other stuff there if you want to check it out. We're not done. So copy this if you want, people. I'm not done. I'm going to stick a little bit more here. I have a little bit more time. So if you want to stick around, we can stick a little bit more and do some Q&A. And here we are for the Q&A. Did somebody miss this? The mindengineer.coach or tinyurl.com/ whatever the name is, mindset book. Okay. So Q&A, any other questions? You can take a screenshot. Yes. Oh, we can write it here. Look, sorry. So let me see 1 second. The mindengineer.coach. Here we go. Those are the 2 links. Amazing session. We learned a lot. Thank you. Thank you. So any want to do Q&A, any questions that you might have? Thank you for the compliments. I love it. I'm glad you enjoyed this. Bundle of thanks. Thank you very much. Thank you for an amazing session. Any questions, anything else that you want to ask before we go? You got me here. Want to take advantage of that? So remember, the power of the mind is unknown. If we don't open our mindset, we're gonna be, of course, stuck. So Doris, I'm gonna unmute you. Can you unmute there, Doris? Sorry, I didn't realize. Can you unmute? Were you able to? Oh, wait, co-host. There you go. Sorry, Doris. You should be able to unmute now. Doris? There
yes, thank you.
Sorry about that. Miss Shamil, raise her hand. I don't know if we can give her.
I just wondered, like, do we have, I think so many questions were answered. Like, would everybody put like a 10 in the chat? Was this mind blowing and like an aha, like the biggest aha moment you've ever had? Can you put a 10 in the chat if that's you? Because that's me.
Thank you.
Honestly, I'm 60 and I have worked since childhood to help break the cycle. I went into teaching to help educate children because I didn't want any child to feel the way I did. And there was always a missing piece. and you have helped to fill that. You
Thank
have
you.
laid out simple steps, not easy, and it's not a one-time thing.
No.
Right?
Thank
You have to recognize when you're triggered and take the time to invest in yourself to go through those steps. And by doing that, you're going to change your life. But for me, because I'm all about kids, you can change the future in the direction of the future for many, many, many people. So yeah, I see lots of 10s. This is amazing. I know we went over time because you are always about giving value, giving your knowledge, because you genuinely want people to be supported and move forward. Do we have time? Like if people want to stick on, do we want
Yes,
someone to
I
raise
have
their
some
hand?
time. I'm not going over today. The other day I had to leave, but today I have a couple more minutes. So somebody asked
Okay.
about YouTube channel. Go into my website. You're going to find there some resources. You're going to find some trainings. And yes, I have, you can look me up, Tommy Walker, the Mind Engineer. Or not on Facebook too. I have my Facebook over there, the Mind Engineer too. You can look over there, Tommy Walker, the Mind Engineer. Anywhere you look, Tommy Walker, the Mind Engineer, you're going to find lots of resources and things on the internet. Okay, I have, as Doris was saying, I love what I do. I want to help change the world from a different way, because again, I've seen so many people struggling that we need to start taking care of our past. Our past is still alive in our subconscious mind. If we don't deal with it, it will always deal with us, unfortunately. Okay, so I got a YouTube channel. It's not very big, it's pretty small. I don't put a lot of energy there. Most of my energy goes into, you know, the people that are in my newsletter and things like that, on the website and on Facebook. Those are the biggest platforms that I use. I'm also in LinkedIn. You can look me up there, Instagram. I'm everywhere, but most places I'm not very going out there too much yet. At least I'm building my audience at different platforms.
And
So
I have to
Mariam,
thank everybody who has shown up, because you are investing in you, right? You are investing in you to learn, to take what you can to change so that your future can be better, but also the future of others, the people that you interact with, the people that you encounter every day in your life, your children. So this is how change happens. First, you have to understand. You have to be willing to challenge your beliefs. That's the key. So many of us are not willing to challenge our beliefs. You have to be willing to, like Tommy said, if you have a question for me, you want to challenge me, go right ahead, because I'm comfortable in this space. I've worked through this crap, right? And that's how you learn best. Saving time by learning from others who have gone through this.
Yep.
So thank you, Tommy, so much for being here and for sharing, gifting us your knowledge, your expertise, your experiences. It truly does work. If you take the time to invest in yourself and work through the steps, you will see change.
Yes, Mohammed, Mariam, there's a question there from Mariam. When you move from one thing to another, the exercise is exactly this. I'm doing this exercise, right? I'm doing this work, and I want to move to another thing before I finish this. Is how am I feeling? How do I feel? Why do I feel this? How does this make me feel about myself? It's a stop, A, B, C, D, E, connecting all the dots together what we've seen. Stop. Whenever you want to move away from another task, I'm doing this and I need to move, and I want to move to another task. If I want to move and I'm not done with this one, it's because it's making me uncomfortable. So stop, A, B, C, D, E. How do I feel? Why do I feel this? How does this make me feel about myself? Again, is the exercise we saw today is the exact same exercise. If you're moving away from something that is bothering you, it's bothering because of a reason. Try to figure out why you're moving away from something that's bothering you. There's a false belief that is being triggered whenever you're doing something. Imagine I'm doing a live and I feel uncomfortable, so I don't want to go live. I'd rather write a post, or I'd rather, record on my own first and then put that out there, but it's not the same as doing a live. So if I'm not doing the live, there's something that's bothering me. What is it? Try to explore and go deeper. There's a reason why you're doing that. Does that make sense? So Famida, please.
I see Miss
Yes.
Are you able to? I can't unmute her, so maybe.
I'm going to mute her in a second. Yes, thank you. I'm asking her to mute. We saw her, Ms. Shamin. You can now talk. You're unmuted, Ms. Shamin. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. As Doris said that you haven't shared your knowledge, but you have gifted your knowledge to us. First of all, thank you so much. And as you said, sir, that repetitions are good to reprogram our past. And my question is that what can we do if a person is fed up and surrender because of the pain he has experienced in the past? How we can motivate that person?
So it's very complicated because we cannot motivate the other person. This is something we need to understand. The other person motivates themselves or not. Again, it's their choice, Mr. Mim. Unfortunately, I cannot motivate you. I can motivate myself and try to, as you said today, share or, gift that to you, and you choose what to do with that. Some people that come here and listen to me might be saying, this is a bunch of crap. You cannot change your past, and walk away. Some, like Famida, was like more open, listening, like, oh, wow, look at this, and she was more open to listening. But I go into places where I talk about this and people start, quote unquote, throwing stuff at me, not really, but with words, or, this is bullshit. You don't know what you're talking about. You cannot change your past. That is, in the past, and forget. And they're closed-minded. So the truth is, you can motivate yourself and you work on yourself, and then see if others around you might join that train with you. Yes? Makes sense? You can try to talk to them and see if you can help them. But unfortunately, I tell people, I cannot empower you. I cannot help you. I can just provide a space for you to help yourself. You got the power. That's what most motivational teachers do. They think that they have the power over you. And that's BS. And that is, when you create followers in a negative way more than people that are empowering themselves. Even when they say, I want to empower you, the truth is they want you to become a follower, not become a leader. That's what most leaders do. They want followers, not leaders. We cannot empower people. We can create a space for them to empower themselves, doctor. Sorry, but we cannot empower. You're saying that you got a power over somebody else, and we don't. At the end of the day, we don't. You, doctor, if right now you say, Tommy, you're a douchebag, I have the power to decide that to affect me or not. And this goes to the example that you just said, Mr. Amin. I cannot empower anybody. I can show them the path and allow them to walk this path. That's all I can do. They empower themselves. You see, doctor, what I'm saying here? And again, I want you to challenge me and challenge yourself. If you're challenging me, I want you to challenge yourself. This is a two-way thing if you want to grow, of course. This is an invitation. You cannot empower me. You can say whatever you want to me, and I decide what to do with that. You can right now say, again, Tommy, you're amazing, blah, 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 whatever. And if I don't believe in it, if I have false belief that I'm a crap, I'm not going to get empowered. So you don't empower me. I empower myself.
Absolutely.
We need to understand that as society. Sorry, Doris, go ahead, please, because this is an important point.
Yeah, as an educator, I saw that all the time in the classroom. We can give the tools, we can give the knowledge, but at the end of the day, it's up to the individual to act.
Okay, yep. Look, so doctor, you just said empowering others by disempowering their false beliefs. Again, they choose. They can choose to disempower their false beliefs, like Famida did, where she started in a way saying, hey, Tommy, you cannot change your past. And then she opened up and said, okay, let's see how you can change your past. That's when she disempowered her false belief. But she did it, not me. You see, doctor, again, unfortunately, as society, we have learned that we can empower or disempower people. No, it seems like that. Look at this. It seems. Again, if I tell Doris, you are sorry, I'm going to say, you're a shithead, Doris, she might feel aggressive, disrespected, but she chooses, not me. I know, it's not nice to say something like that to somebody, but she decides what to do with that information. She could say, Tommy, you are a shithead, you are the whatever. I'm not going to take this personal. It's your choice. So we need to understand that we always have a choice. Nobody else has anything over us except we allow it. Okay, doctor, I hope that makes sense a little bit more. Please bring some questions, people. We have a couple more minutes. If Doris, you're okay, I can say a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm good.
Try to help as many as I can in breaking those false beliefs. Seriously, we look at that. Again, doctor, you were saying like we can empower others. This is what we were taught, and it's wrong. Doris, can you empower a kid? Only if they decide to take that. Because I taught little kids and adults for many years. a little kid, you can try to empower them, but if they don't want to, they're not going to feel empowered. Isn't that true, Doris?
It's absolutely true. And as an educator, my focus in school before I went to teachers college, I had this thing about learning about behavior, what makes people tick, what makes them think the way they do. So I've been on this path for 34 years. And yes, I saw more and more students coming in believing they weren't good enough at 5, 6, 7 years old, and even sadly suicidal at such a young age.
Yes.
And so you can give them the tools and whatever, but they've already come in with this preconceived notion that they're not good enough. So young. Yes. Where does that come from? Exactly. Take what Tommy has said. It comes from their experiences and not being able to process those experiences because their minds are not developed yet. So those false perceptions, those negative beliefs start to form. And then as you go through life and experience things, you get triggered, and that trigger goes back to that root cause, that experience that you didn't understand. And that's the key, is going back as an adult and helping that younger version of yourself understand what happened.
Yep.
All of those things.
So two things. Wait, we got Miriam and then Doctor again. So Miriam, if we positively change our childhood memory, if the previous one comes back again, is because it needs more reinforcement. Something happened there that you might not have understood, and you need to go deeper with that. Okay, Miriam. So it means that, Miriam, that it's not dealt correctly yet. So it's keep coming up. You were not able to go to the root cause. You, again, unfortunately, you try to put a Band-Aid on, and that's what I see a lot of healers do, therapists and different type. And not everybody, don't get me wrong, please don't take it personal, but a lot of people, what they do is they put a Band-Aid. They brings positivity, all this NLP movement that we have, and it's good, don't get me wrong. But instead of understanding, they put if they put a Band-Aid on, instead of really understanding that little boy or girl, what it went through, what is his feeling, what is going on, and explaining to that little boy or girl, why did that happen, as Doris was saying, then we bring the affirmations. But unfortunately, they bring the affirmations in and try to crush the belief with the affirmation. It's not about crushing. It's about letting that part of you decide what to think. Again, encouraging. And look, tying it up with what Dr. Syed said, encourage is not empowering. If you look at the word encouraging is encouraging, making a room to make that person, see themselves, see their potential. But that's not empowering like I am empowering them. I'm encouraging them. They decide what to do with that. Again, what Doris was saying before. Yes. So but there was somebody else, Faraya, I think somebody raised their hand and then left. Do you want to say something? I think it might have been Faraya. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Want to say anything? Thank you.
I just wanted to ask, I've done my NLP, I really enjoyed your workshops, both of them. And it does make sense, and a lot of sense, and really helpful. But my problem is with you knowing a lot about these things and having practiced it a lot also, I got cancer and I'm going through treatment and I can't empower myself to feel positive. What do I do?
So find why aren't you feeling positive? There you go. You just said it. I'm trying to feel positive and I can't. Why are you trying to push yourself to feel positive? Feel the negative. What is, sorry?
Or normal. I don't feel normal.
Okay, there you go. But that is a false belief that is triggered by what your experiences today. You see what I mean? What you're feeling not normal. That is, if we go back to your childhood, I'm pretty sure that was created in your childhood. It doesn't have to do with cancer, what you're going today. It's what you're going today is just reminding you what happened in your childhood. Even if it's really difficult what you're going through, I'm not minimizing what you're going through. Please don't get me wrong. I'm not minimizing what you're going through is very difficult. But you not feeling normal comes from your perception from your childhood.
Yeah, I think you're right, because I've always been taught that whatever you feel, you have to be strong, you have to look strong.
There you go. Denial, you see? So you're using NLP to try to get away from the pain instead of going into the pain. You see how, unfortunately, our ego uses the tools the wrong way.
Right.
The ego tricks you. Sorry?
Thank you. That makes sense. I think I'll go back and I'll talk to that younger version of myself.
Yes.
It's okay to not be okay.
Exactly. Thank you. This is what we need for her to understand. It's okay not to be okay. Why are you not okay? My kid comes over and says, Dad, I'm sad. Instead of saying, oh, don't be sad. It's like, why are you sad? It's okay to feel sad. And look the wording. It's okay to feel sad. It's not, I didn't say it's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel sad. Makes sense, the difference there, Freya?
Exactly. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for this. And I wish you the best with this treatment and with the next steps. Okay.
Thank
Yes,
you.
all the best. I
Thank you.
see another question. If we have a few more minutes, I
Yes.
faced a breakup with someone, and after the breakup, I found some different activities to divert my mind. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I was socializing, but after socializing, unfortunately, I found bad company. When I was knowing this company is bad, I left that company, but I've not changed my past because I don't know how to change it, and sometimes still think about that person. So what do I do, Sir Tommy, in that situation? And I know you're going to offer insight, but I always say, if you feel pain in your heart, in part, along with this, it means somebody held space in that, in your life. So that's not always a bad thing. But yes, there is probably a root cause. Tommy, can you help?
Thank you, Doris. So yes, Aiza, thank you very much for opening up and sharing this. The truth is, what did that person bring into your life that now you're missing? Look how it is the other way around. What did that person bring into your life that you were not bringing to your own life, and now you're missing? So write down the things that you're missing from this person and seeing what aspects of your life you're not giving it to yourself. Self-love, self-understanding, support, encourage, whatever it is that this person represented is what you're lacking. What most of us do, and I include myself, don't get me wrong, I have my unresolved issues too that I'm dealing with, and I have turned around my life, but I still believe that I have much more to turn around. I believe that we're spiritual beings on earth evolving, and the potential that we have is unimaginable. There we go. So the truth is, what did this person bring into your life that you are not giving to yourself? Because we get out there finding friends, finding partners, kids, right, to fill our cup from the outside. But we need to learn how to fill our cup from the inside by going back into the past and giving to yourself what you're not giving.
Okay, and there's another one here. Is it possible to have control on our mind to stop overthinking or get rid from a particular disease? And yes, and you know what? Our thoughts and emotions can cause disease.
Yes.
You think about the power of the mind, you can give yourself an ulcer. So if you can change that thinking and dealing with the root causes, would it not make sense that you can have the opposite result, better health and wellness?
Exactly. There you go. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, of course, it is possible. I cannot give guarantees, of course, because there's many variables in the way, your mind, what you need to go through this world, like the universe, whatever, God, whatever you want to put the name to, it has to bring to your doorstep for you to go through as a means of evolving, right? But the truth is, I have worked with a woman that she had vitiligo. Vitiligo is when your skin starts losing its pigments and it starts getting kind of whitish. And as we started working together, she started regaining her color. Okay, eventually, I don't know what happened to this woman. She fell out of the faith of the earth. She wouldn't return my messages, anything. She stopped working with me. But it was amazing because along a couple of weeks working together, she started seeing some pigmentation coming back to her skin. And it had to do with mindset. Many diseases, not feeling at ease, diseases are created by the mind. I believe most, but let's not say, some diseases, whatever, we don't want to have problems with the medical associations, right? They're created by the mind. So as they're created, they could be reversed too. But again, there's not just, I'm going to reverse whatever disease I have, because maybe it's meant for me to, I don't know, pass away in 10 years, 5 years, 2 months, because that's my mission here on earth. I don't know. I have no idea. So there's other variables in there that only God's know. And we don't know about this. So it's not just the mind, just to understand, because maybe you're sick and you're dying and you're like, oh, what did I do wrong? Maybe your soul is part of it, their service to yourself and the world to evolve, part of that process, that it might be hurting, but it hurts And look at this, because we have a false belief. Because look, if I look at this, and this is for you to challenge again. If I believe in God deep, deep down. So if I get sick and I die tomorrow, I might get a bit scared. I might feel a bit bad, but I'm going to be so happy that I'm going to be up there with God. So if you are attached to this life, because you have false beliefs. Because if you truly believe in God, you'll be like, now I'm going to go to another plane, whether it is if I believe in reincarnation or stay up there with God, whatever it is. And I'm not saying it's easy, don't get me wrong again, but it's challenge yourselves. If it brings pain, like Doris was saying, if it brings pain, there might be something natural, of course, but there's always a root cause behind it, a false belief.
Yes, I see. Oh, what did I just lose this? I saw somebody said, reach out to me.
No,
just
didn't
lost
see
it.
that. Let's see.
Oh, Tommy, respond to me. It took me 25 years to get you. Oh, Dr. Saeed,
responded. Yes.
did you want to unmute or clarify? But yeah, it's like
I think
a
it was
big
just
aha moment. isn't it?
exactly. It made sense.
Yeah,
There you go.
absolutely.
So Aroch is asking if we can cure somebody's epilepsy. Like truly, I don't know. Again, I don't know. We can work on getting rid of the garbage that could be affecting, but it doesn't mean it might go away, because again, it might be part of their life to deal with that for the rest of their life, something that God brought to their life to challenge them. And that's all we can do. That's what I say. You cannot guarantee that, because again, I believe in the spiritual world where there's karma and dharma. Karma is whatever you put out is going to come back multiplied to show you the good deeds that you did. The dharma, the good deeds. And if I scream at Doris right now, that somebody should be screaming at me later on, because I'm, as a father, I want my kids to experience the things they do so that they learn from them. That's what I believe God does with us. So if I put a negative energy into the universe, that is going to get multiplied, come back, so that I learn from it and I don't do it again. On the counterpart, if I do something positive, it's going to come back multiplied. So maybe I need to go through something, whether I like it or not, but be in peace with that. But the only way to really see if it can change or not is by, again, healing the past, reprogramming your mind. That can reduce, that can maybe eliminate, but there's no guarantees. Because if this person's soul decided to go through this experience, we cannot go against that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of epilepsy, I don't have epilepsy, but as an educator, I had students, I have friends, and I'm involved in different foundations where even treatment isn't and diagnosis isn't even possible in those communities, and people are trying to make changes. But I do understand that even with epilepsy, there are triggers, like strobe lights. And I would imagine that if you can reduce the stress, and sometimes what you're helping us with, Tommy, is an internal stress that we aren't even aware is happening on a day-to-day basis. And these negative thoughts and emotions are just on repeat and we don't even know it. So you're here and your eyes are open. You can start to make little changes. Like Tommy said, it's simple, but it's not easy, but you can start. You're here starting to learn. And now you can start to take action. Can it help or not help? Like, who has the answers really to all that without proper studies and control groups and whatnot? But I understand that stress can exacerbate the symptoms of epilepsy as well.
Yep. So now we have Maria. She said, "Sir, I used to talk while sleeping. Can this therapy be helpful for me? Younger version therapy." So yeah, you could try to see what was the message of that little, kid that was talking in their sleep. What were they saying? Were they expressing something that they didn't express when they were awake? It could be our representative or not, just dreams. I don't know. We need to learn a bit more of the context. But the truth is, this type of work will never affect you negatively more than just bringing the garbage out. So what you're going to see is the bin is going to be more full. And what I get people blaming, and I had some people along my way blaming me for feeling a little bit more, stressed out or depressed or sad. And I told them, no, it's not my fault. You're just bringing the garbage out and you're seeing it. If I bring the garbage out of my house and I pile it on the garage, I'm going to see more garbage. Does it mean that Tommy was the creator of that garbage? No, it was inside of you and it was holding you back. And that's why now you're seeing it. But it doesn't mean that, oh, you know, it's this guy's fault that now you're seeing more garbage. It is inside of you. And if you want to progress in life, if you want to progress in your spiritual world, you need to get the garbage out. Because what I feel is that the garbage spiritually, to elevate our frequency, to be closer to God, to feel more God inside of us, we need to get rid of the garbage. That's my thought.
Excellent. Do we have time for one more? I see one more here.
Mariam, yes, one more, and then we gotta go.
Okay. Here is my sister facing some problems. She was supposed to be getting admission to MBBS, but she had some problems to go there to start her degree in other subjects and facing some interest, etc. She did not get what she wanted to get. Also, she had a breakup with her friend and seems most of the time very frustrated and angry kinds of things. How do we assist her to make her feel better, to be better?
Share this recording if you want.
Yeah.
Mariam, share this recording. Go into my website, themindengineer.coach. There's some free trainings there. You can tell her, if you don't want her to see this because you're talking about her, you can share some free trainings that I have there, right? That she can watch. There's my book. If you want to, you know, get her the book, that's something that you can think about, you know, different ways.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So again, gifting us all of your knowledge, your expertise. I know you could go on for hours. I know.
Yes, I know what I do.
That's who you are. So we appreciate the extra you gave us here. People, feel free to check out the website, message personally if you have other questions. I know Tayeb will also be putting these recordings on YouTube, and he will share that with your group in your WhatsApp and whatever forums he has. So again, thank you so much, Tommy. And thank you, Tayeb, for organizing, and Fatima Hope and Psychological Center. One day at a time, one piece of information at a time, and one act at a time, and you will see change.
Thank you. Thank you, Doris, very much. Thank you, Tayeb, for organizing this too. And thank you, everyone, from the bottom of my heart for being here and listening, and open your mind. People, remember, whatever something bothers me and I try to say like, no, that's not true, try to really open your mind and say, why do I feel it's not true? Is it shaking my beliefs and it's bothering me? Like, and I really want to applaud Fahida that she stepped in and said, no, she challenged me, you cannot change your past. But I'm proving to you guys that as you can eat a plate in front of you, that it's not there, and eat it and your body prepared to it, the same way the mind can change the past. But again, it's not repressing, it's not ignoring, it's really being there and loving to that part of you that didn't receive that love and support. So that part of you understand why mom and dad, why the teacher, why whoever didn't give that love and support to that little kid, that it wasn't the little kid, it was the environment. And then you start giving that love and support that you needed. When you start doing that, your entire life can slowly, this is important to set the right expectations, slowly start changing. So thank you very much for listening and being open, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you. And just one last thing, if you were wanting your certificate, please message Tayeb directly.
Yes.
And he will support you with that.
Yeah. Don't ask the certificate to Tommy, please, or to Doris.
Yeah.
Reach out to Tayeb, please, because I'm not going to answer if somebody says that they want their certificate. It has nothing to do with us. We're just invited over to offer this with Doris. It's up to now the Tayeb and organization to provide the certificate to you people. Okay. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.
Awesome. Thanks again, Tommy.
Thank you.
Take good care.
You too. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.